So let me take you back a few years. I had just moved to a new city and was desperate to make friends. That's when I met Alex. Alex was charming, outgoing, and seemed to be the perfect friend. We clicked instantly and soon we were inseparable. Alex and I did everything together. We went to parties, explored the city, and shared our dreams and fears. I trusted Alex completely, and I thought he felt the same. One night I received a strange text message from an unknown number. It said, "Be careful of Alex, he's not who you think he is." I laughed it off, thinking it was just a prank, but the messages kept coming, each one more unsettling than the last. I started to feel paranoid. I noticed little things about Alex that didn't add up. He was always secretive about his phone and would disappear for hours without explanation. But whenever I confronted him, he had a perfectly reasonable excuse. One night, I decided to follow Alex. He left his apartment and drove to an old abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town. I watched from a distance as he met with a group of shady-looking people. My heart raced as I realized I had no idea who Alex really was. I snuck closer, hiding behind a pile of crates. I overheard Alex talking about me. He was using me to gain access to my company's confidential information. He planned to sell it to the highest bidder. I felt a wave of anger and betrayal wash over me. The next day, I confronted Alex in a busy cafe. I told him I knew everything and that our friendship was over. He didn't even try to deny it. He just smirked and said, "You're too trusting, it was easy to fool you." I walked away, feeling a mix of relief and sadness. I had lost a friend, but I had also saved myself from further betrayal. The messages stopped, but the experience left a scar. I'm more cautious now, and I've learned to trust my instincts. It all started when I moved into the dorms for my freshman year of college. My roommate Jessica seemed like a dream come true. We had so much in common and quickly became best friends. We laughed together, studied together, and even shared our deepest secrets. Jessica and I were inseparable. She was always there for me, or so I thought. Little did I know, behind that friendly facade was someone plotting my downfall. Over time, I started noticing strange things. My belongings would go missing and weird charges appeared on my credit card. I brushed it off, thinking it was just a coincidence. But then the real nightmare began. I received a call from my bank about suspicious activity on my account. Someone had been withdrawing large sums of money. I was shocked and confused. Who could be doing this? Desperate for answers, I installed a hidden camera in our room. What I discovered was beyond horrifying. The footage showed Jessica rummaging through my things, stealing my credit card and using it to make purchases. I confronted Jessica, but she denied everything, calling me paranoid. However, when I showed her the footage, her demeanor changed. She admitted to everything and begged for forgiveness. I felt a wave of anger and betrayal. How could someone I trusted so deeply do this to me? I reported her to the campus authorities and moved out immediately. The friendship was over and I was left to pick up the pieces. This experience taught me a valuable lesson about trust and betrayal. Sometimes the people closest to you are the ones you need to watch out for the most. It was supposed to be the party of the year. My friend Sarah had been planning it for weeks. Everyone was excited and I was looking forward to a night of fun and laughter. The party started off great. Sarah was the perfect host, making sure everyone had a good time. But as the night went on, things took a dark turn. I noticed Sarah whispering to a group of people, and they kept casting strange looks my way. I felt uneasy but tried to brush it off. Maybe it was just my imagination. Suddenly I started feeling dizzy and confused. My vision blurred and I could barely stand. I knew something was wrong but couldn't figure out what. Desperate for answers, I stumbled into a room and found Sarah's notebook. It was filled with plans and secrets. She had been using me to get close to my boyfriend and steal my social circle. I confronted Sarah, but she just laughed and admitted everything. She said I was too naive and that I deserved to be taken advantage of. I felt a wave of anger and betrayal. I left the party feeling humiliated and heartbroken, but I wasn't alone. Some of my true friends followed me and offered their support. They had no idea what Sarah had been up to either. It all began when I started my new job at a prestigious marketing firm. I was eager to make a good impression and quickly became friends with a colleague named Rachel. Rachel was charismatic, ambitious, and seemed genuinely interested in helping me succeed. Rachel and I worked on several projects together and even started hanging out after work. She introduced me to her friends and we often went out for drinks and dinner. I thought I had found a true friend and mentor. After a few months, I received a promotion. Rachel was the first to congratulate me and we celebrated together. But soon after, things started to change. Rachel became distant and started making subtle negative comments about my work. One day I overheard Rachel talking to some colleagues. She was spreading rumors about me, saying that I didn't deserve the promotion and that I was only successful because of her guidance. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I felt hurt and betrayed, but I decided to confront Rachel. I asked her why she was spreading lies about me. She denied everything, saying it was just a misunderstanding. I wanted to believe her, but the seed of doubt had been planted. Over the next few weeks, Rachel's behavior became even more suspicious. She started sabotaging my work, deleting important files and taking credit for my ideas. I felt like I was losing my mind, but I knew I had to gather evidence. I set up a plan to catch Rachel in the act. I created a fake project and left it on my desk. Sure enough, Rachel took the bait. She copied the project and presented it as her own during a team meeting. I had recorded everything on my phone. With the evidence in hand, I went to my boss and showed him the recording. He was shocked and immediately called Rachel into his office. She was confronted and had no choice but to admit her actions. She was fired on the spot. I felt a mix of relief and sadness. I had lost a friend, but I had also saved my career. It was a painful experience, but it taught me the importance of standing up for myself and not letting manipulative people take advantage of me. This experience taught me a valuable lesson about trust and manipulation. Sometimes the people who seem the most supportive are only looking out for themselves. I've learned to be more cautious and to trust my instincts. I've always believed in the power of friendship. It's the glue that binds us in our darkest moments and lifts us up in times of joy. Or so I thought. My name is Alex, and this is my story of betrayal by fake friends. It all started in college. I was the typical introvert, spending most of my time buried in books or exploring my creative side through writing. My circle was small, but it was tight-knit. I had 3 close friends, Jake, Lisa, and Chris. We were inseparable, or at least that's what I believed. Jake was the charismatic leader, always brimming with confidence. Lisa, the sweet and empathetic one, had a smile that could light up any room. Chris was the logical thinker, the one who always kept us grounded. Together, we made a perfect team, balancing each other out in ways I never thought possible. Our favorite spot was this quaint little cafe near campus. We'd spend hours there, sipping on coffee, sharing stories, and dreaming about the future. It was our safe haven, a place where everything seemed perfect. But beneath the surface, cracks were beginning to form. It was during one of our late-night study sessions in the library that I first noticed something was off. Jake and Lisa were whispering, casting furtive glances in my direction. I brushed it off, thinking I was just being paranoid. But the feeling persisted. One night, after a particularly grueling exam week, we decided to blow off some steam. Jake suggested we go to a party at one of the fraternities. I wasn't really into the party scene, but I didn't want to be the odd one out. So I agreed. The party was in full swing when we arrived. The music was deafening and the lights were almost blinding. I felt out of place, but my friends seemed to be having the time of their lives. Jake quickly disappeared into the crowd, Lisa found a group to dance with, and Chris was deep in conversation with some guys I didn't recognize. I tried to mingle, but my heart wasn't in it. I found a quiet corner and sat down, watching the chaos unfold around me. That's when I noticed Lisa and Chris talking to a guy I had never seen before. They kept glancing in my direction, and I could feel their eyes on me. My gut told me something was wrong. After what felt like an eternity, Jake reappeared, pulling me onto the dance floor. I tried to relax and enjoy myself, but the unease wouldn't go away. Eventually, I decided to call it a night and headed back to my dorm. As I walked away, I could feel their eyes burning into my back. Over the next few weeks, things only got worse. Jake, Lisa, and Chris started excluding me from plans. They'd hang out without me, and whenever I asked, they'd give vague excuses or tell me they forgot. Our once tight-knit group was falling apart, and I didn't know why. One day, I couldn't take it anymore. I confronted them at the cafe, demanding to know what was going on. They exchanged glances before Jake finally spoke up. "Alex, we need to talk," he said, his voice devoid of its usual warmth. "We've been feeling like you're not really part of the group anymore." I was stunned. "What are you talking about? I've always been here. I thought we were friends." Lisa sighed, looking uncomfortable. "It's just, you're always so quiet and withdrawn. It's like you're not interested in anything we do anymore." Chris nodded. "Yeah, we feel like you're holding us back. We want to have fun, but you're always bringing us down." Their words hit me like a punch to the gut. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. The friends I had trusted, the people I considered my family, were turning their backs on me. I spent the next few days in a daze, trying to make sense of what had happened. I felt betrayed, hurt, and completely alone. But the worst was yet to come. Late one night, I received a text from an unknown number. It read, "Meet me at the old warehouse by the river. There's something you need to know." Against my better judgment, I decided to go. I needed answers, and this might be my only chance to get them. The warehouse was abandoned, its windows shattered and its walls covered in graffiti. I stepped inside, my heart pounding in my chest. The air was thick with dust, and the only light came from the moon filtering through the broken windows. As I ventured further into the darkness, I heard whispers and footsteps behind me. I turned around, but no one was there. My nerves were on edge, and every sound seemed amplified in the eerie silence. I stumbled upon a hidden room filled with old furniture and stacks of papers. On one of the tables, I found a stack of photographs. My blood ran cold as I realized they were pictures of me, taken without my knowledge. Some were from our study sessions, others from the party, and even some from outside my dorm. A chill ran down my spine as I felt a presence behind me. I turned around to find Jake, Lisa, and Chris standing in the doorway, their faces twisted with malice. "Surprised to see us?" Jake sneered. "What the hell is going on?" I demanded, my voice shaking. Lisa stepped forward, her expression cold and calculating. "We never really liked you, Alex. You were just a convenient target." Chris smirked. "We've been planning this for months. We wanted to see how far we could push you before you broke." My mind was reeling. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. The friends I had trusted had been plotting against me all along. Jake continued, his voice dripping with cruelty. "We wanted to see how far we could push you, how much you could take before you broke. It was all a game to us." Lisa nodded, her eyes cold. "We even made bets on how long it would take before you snapped. Turns out you're more resilient than we thought." I felt a surge of anger and betrayal. How could they do this to me? I had trusted them, confided in them, and they had been using me for their sick amusement. "I can't believe you," I said, my voice trembling with rage. "You were supposed to be my friends." Jake shrugged. "Life's a bitch, Alex. Get used to it." I turned and walked away, my heart heavy with betrayal. I knew I could never go back to the way things were. The people I had considered my closest friends had shown their true colors, and I was done with them. In the weeks that followed, I distanced myself from Jake, Lisa, and Chris. It was hard, but I knew it was the right thing to do. I focused on my studies and threw myself into my writing, using it as a way to process my emotions. Slowly but surely, I began to rebuild my life. I made new friends, ones who were genuine and supportive,